Hi everyone, this is Pepper Pace and I'm going to be starting a new series. This is painting a full body silicone, and this silicone is Frankie Bae, sculpted by Laurie Sullivan Roy, and this version is Frankie's first cry. So I will tell you more about this baby at the end of this first part. So this first part, we're going to do some prep and we're going to show how I set up my table or my workstation. I have washed him in Dawn dish soap, and then you can use some isopropyl alcohol. Make sure you get all of the releasing agents off the kit. I use this naphtha, which makes sure that the paint can absorb into the silicone. So I rub it in like you rub Vaseline into a baby. Okay, so then this next step, let's show you how I set up my workstation for silicones. So this is for silicone painting, and I'm gonna have a palette. So that's one type of palette. And then I have this little smaller palette here. So we're gonna need that. I'm going to need something to pounce off silicone. I'm also going to be using these. These are the latex-free cosmetic wedges, and it pounces off more paint, while these leave behind more pigment, but it also has this texture, the spongy texture, which mimics skin. So I really like that. I'm going to try these. I've not used these yet, but I'm hoping that these will help me keep little baby suspended. So in case I see something that needs to be trimmed, I like these types of scissors. It's whatever you prefer. So here's some more of those. Also, we're going to need different types of paint brushes. So I don't know exactly which ones I'm going to be using yet, but we definitely are going to be needing this one to apply the pigment. That's the way I do it. And then I know that I'm going to need a smaller one to apply in smaller spaces. These are my stir sticks. I have a big one just in case I need a big one. So I can stir my pigments when I mix them. Have to have this. I like the kind that comes to a point and it has that little flat part to it. So that really helps. Feels kind of sharp. These are cosmetic applicators. So like, let's say I want to get in the ears or up the nose, these small things help. These are little condiment cups. This is going to be where I mix like a big portion, like a lot of the skin. And then these are smaller ones. And also I like having lids to them. Now, this is how we mix our pigment. You're going to need A and B. This is the silicone that I use. I'm going to stop saying we. And then here are some of the pigments that I will be using. A lot of it is Silk Pig. So then I do use golden, and I use this BBDINQ. That's the flesh color that I'm going to be using today. These are just some cosmetic pieces that I need to experiment with. Here is a sponge that I created from silicone, different textures, just to see how it works. And then here's some leftover Eco. So that's just more silicone. Also, finally, you're going to need this paper towels. Not finally, because you're going to also need thinner. So some type of thinner to then down the paint. I'm going to be putting my paintbrushes here. And I have some thinner in here. So I like to put it, because it likes to spill over. So I'm going to put it in there. And some type of dish. I'm going to use this damper dish. I'm going to try that. I don't know if I need this in there, but we're going to keep it in there. All right, I think that's pretty much it. This is Inhibit X. I sprayed this on silicone after it's been prepped so that the silicone pigment will adhere to the silicone. All right, so that took a lot longer than I expected, but these are all the things in my arsenal. And then I have a caddy here where I keep more things that I need, like I gotta have this because I'm wearing an apron and my apron is a little dusty. And I have some nail polish remover, and I need this alcohol too. So we got alcohol, isopropyl. I think it's 91% isopropyl alcohol. Here is, yeah, it's 99%. Ooh. I have some applicators and just all kinds of little stuff in here. Here's where my matting, some of my matting powder. I like having these cute, these toothpicks too. So here are some more dishes that I might use to mix with, but I think I like those condiment cups. And then here is some more solvent or thinner. I like the OSS odorless silicone solvent. I also like Bob Ross odorless thinner. So yeah, this is some of the things that I have in my arsenal, and I got more stuff, but okay, I got some stuff over here too. Yeah, so yeah. So let's get to it. Okay, guys, we are going to be painting this little crying baby. This is Frankie Bae's first cry. So I'm very interested in doing his open mouth. I think that's going to be super cute. This is a sculpt by Laurie Sullivan Roy. And he has these open hands, which I love open hands. He does have full body armatures, so that allows his head to, move in a certain way. And his armatures go up into his ankles so that his feet can move a certain way. And he is an anatomically correct little boy. He's pretty small, but we're going to start off. I've already prepped him. I'm just going to wipe him down with Inhibit X. That's going to confirm that the silicone, the paint that I apply, adheres to the silicone. I've already added naphtha. I think that's how you pronounce it. So after I gave him a thorough wash, I wiped him down with naphtha. That is to be rubbed into the silicone so that it will help the paint also to adhere. So, of course, paint is always applied with a mixture of Cyclopaint A and Cyclopaint B, and then the pigment, which is the pigment I'm going to be using. So we're going to get started.